Shine with Kendéll Lenice. Real talk for real people. Let's shine together.
Allow me to introduce myself. Thank you for shining with me first and foremost every week on Shine with Kendéll Lenice. I am a certified transformational life coach, speaker, author, as well as a certified financial coach. Each week I hope to elevate you, educate you, and entertain you with our various guests and various topics here on Shine with Kendéll Lenice. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to tell a friend. And now on to this week's show. Today's show is sponsored by LeniceBoutique.com. Fashion, clothes, accessories, and more. New and consignment treasures for all. It's guilt-free shopping, y'all. LeniceBoutique.com, where quality cannot be compromised or will not be compromised no matter what type of item you're looking for. We guarantee quality. However, not all of our items are previously loved. 90% of all items are brand new with and without the tag. Everything is marked so you can clearly know what you're purchasing. Our team hand selects every item to make sure it meets your quality standard. We will not sell anything we wouldn't buy for ourselves. Shop LeniceBoutique.com. Again, guilt-free shopping. Find a gift for yourself and another for a friend. The beautiful thing about LeniceBoutique.com, prices range from $3, yes, $3, y'all, to $99. Shop LeniceBoutique.com, LeniceBoutique.com. And now on to our show. You heard the lady. And now on to the show. And this is the show. It's Shine with Kendéll Lenice. And of course, that is I. She is me. Is her. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I know everybody is going stir crazy in the house, quarantining and all of that good stuff. Hopefully, you're following the instructions and you are staying home and quarantining and using social distance and all of that good stuff. Hopefully you are, because I know for a fact that somebody's, they aren't using social distancing. I had to go to the store and people were all on top of one another. People were still hugging and kumbaya and kissing and all of that. And I'm for hugging and loving on somebody. And, you know, as soon as you greet somebody, hey, how you doing? A hug. But not these days at all. But people were still doing it. I had to go to the grocery store and I had gone to Walmart, you know, because they have groceries too. So I went to two different stores and people are acting like nothing is going on. I don't understand. Have they seen the news? Do they understand that people are dying? Like this is a legitimate pandemic. This is not an old wives' tale. It's not a story. It's not a generational story that's been passed down. It's not fictional. And hold on to that fictional because I'm going to read you some fiction later. But what I'm talking about now is not fiction. It's pure fact. And people underestimate what's really going on. And I think some of the problem is these reality shows. I'm just going to put it out there. And video games. So many people are not in touch with reality these days. They think shoot 'em up, bang, bang, like a video, and then they're going to get back up and go do this or go do that. But death is real, and you're no longer here. And the saddest thing for me is knowing that some people are dying alone because their family members are not able or not allowed to come in the hospital, and people are having funerals and nobody's coming because of social distancing and the coronavirus. And it's just pray for people. Get on social media, pray for people that you don't even know. Call your friends and family, make sure they're okay, make sure they're protecting themselves. My teenage niece is making masks. If anybody needs one, holler at me. She's making them. She's so creative. She's a sewer, if you will, seamstress. I don't want to go that far, but she's very creative, and she makes a lot of things, and I mean quality things. But I like to see everybody, now helping one another and coming together and trying to make the best of it. But don't forget to pray. Don't forget to meditate, which I had a class today. I teach meditation. I don't know if you know, but I'm a meditation practitioner, and I'm doing virtual classes for free just to, help people. And I get a joy, out of seeing people who've never meditated or who didn't have a practice that was ongoing. I love to see them do that. So I'm doing that 3 times a week. And I think it's important to do that. And I can reach people all across the globe. So that's the amazing thing about this virtual world that we live in. Can you imagine, y'all, if we didn't have social media or we didn't have the internet and we were going through this? What would you be doing? Probably reading a book. But now I can read a book to you. So let me just greet you. If this is the first time that you're tuning in to Shine with Kendéll Lenice and you stumbled upon my little podcast, I thank you so very much. If you are my loyal listener and you come back every single week to listen, I try not to let you down. Even, dealing with whatever, I'm still coming to you because I think it's important to be consistent and do what you say you're going to do and honor the things that you're doing, because it could be one person out there that looks forward to my podcast every single week. And I don't want to let that one person down. I would love for it to be a lot of persons, if you will, but even that one person is special to me. So I thank you so much for tuning in. All right, before we get started, as always, let me start with this week's Life Note. All right, it's time for this week's Life Note. All right, this week's Life Note is overnight success is almost always a myth. Half of this industry is luck, and the other half is the refusal to quit. And that is a quote by Victoria Schwab, whoever she is. And I just want to replace that luck with God's grace. But if you believe in luck, then keep that in. Overnight success is almost always a myth. Half of this industry is luck and half is the refusal to quit. Now, when you have the refusal to quit compared with the ability, I don't even want to say compared, coupled with the ability to just keep going, that is refusal to quit. Just keep going. And then with my quote, it's never too late to remix your life. Like, you can switch it up at any time, but it's the people who quit that don't realize their potential and what they are meant to do and what they're meant to have and what they're meant to experience, because they can't handle it and they quit right before that blessing is going to come. Now, you talk to anybody that's a writer, anybody that's in any kind of career in entertainment, other careers, people get noticed after they put in 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years of work. So if you want to be great, you got to put in the work. I just had a virtual writing workshop. Write your book now. So you think you want to write a book, that workshop. And I had folks on there, pardon me, that want to write a book. So I love teaching people the craft and the art of writing a book and how to do that and how to put their thoughts to paper and how to really impact someone and change their lives. Now, if you know me, you see me all across social media, and I'm spreading the good word. I'm a life coach and I'm a speaker, and I go by the name of Lady Motivator. So I do write empowerment books and empowerment pieces and all of that for magazines, for newspapers, my own books, I go around speaking, and that's me, Lady Motivator. And before I had that title, if you will, I think I've had that title maybe about 8 years, 9 years, maybe even 10. I have to look. I was a novelist. Still the same person, still a message in the novel, some juice and some tea and all of that good stuff. And I picked up my novel for the first time in years. That was the first book I published, and that was 2006. 2005 I was finishing up writing the book, and 2006 it was published in the beginning of that year. And I have the book right here. It's called Lifetime Membership, No Expiration, a novel about life, love, and friendship. So we know great friendships have no expiration date, right? So I thought it would be interesting because I have not written, or should I say, read this book in many, many years. And I did not do an audio book. You hear the book pages, excuse me. But I did not do an audio book because audio books back then, they weren't as easy to listen to, not easy, excuse me, I'm sorry, easily accessible, if you will, I'm sorry, as they are now, because they were on cassette tapes and CDs, and it was a different process to have an audio book. Now, you can do an audio book just like this podcast. So what I'm going to do is read a couple of chapters in my book. And this is a book that was near and dear to my heart. It was precious to me because this was the first book I published. You know, I had to let go of, oh, well, they didn't do this right. This word was spelled wrong. The editor didn't do this, and really just embrace the fact that I wrote a book, you know, and I published it. I traveled with the book. I was able to have a big platform to get the word out about the book. I had book signings in different states, and, you know, it was amazing. And I was doing it all by myself. It was self-published. So even back then, the information wasn't accessible as it is now. I had to learn by reading and learning and figuring it out. And that's why I love teaching people how to do that. So if they can go through half of what I've gone through to write and publish my first book, then I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, because I'm all about helping people. That's just my nature. That's my degree. That's my certification, you know, and helping people. And that's my heart. So that's what I want to do, and that's what I am doing. So I'm living my best life just by helping other people live their best life. So, all right, enough of that chit chat. I am going to start the book, and I'm reading it to you all, but it's going to be almost new for me because, like I said, I haven't read this book in well over a decade. So here we are. Chapter 1, Sloan Elise Daniels. After months of trying to pick up the pieces of my broken spirit, I'm finally coming to grips with the drastic changes in my life. If someone told me 8 years ago I would be here today, I would have called them all kind of haters and liars. Every day is not all bad, just different. Some days I wonder if I made the wrong decision. Then some days I know I made the right decision. I had to follow my own heart and no longer someone else's for my own reasons. I just had to let that relationship go. I could not take it any longer. I was starting to doubt myself on a regular basis. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just have to make decisions as you see fit. Everyone has their own limit. Mine happened to be last October. Everyone may not like it or understand it, but that's the way life goes, you know. Some decisions are difficult, but what decisions aren't? If they were easy, then we wouldn't have to decide on anything, right? Life is a funny roller coaster ride. And sometimes you can't get off right away. You may not get sick at first, but if you ride it long enough, you are bound to throw up. It came to a point where where I was nauseated all the time. That situation was bad for my health. I had to go, and I didn't see it any other way. I'm glad I don't have to drive my son Kai to my mother's daycare center this morning. That gives me a little extra time to get myself together. My son's father, Omar, picked him up last night. They were heading to New Jersey this morning for Omar's family reunion. Kai was so excited to go to the beach and get on the rides. He couldn't stop talking about it. It doesn't take much to make a 3-year-old little boy happy. I believe the reunion is in Wildwood, New Jersey this year. Their family reunions are in different locations every year. I'm not even going to lie. It felt real funny not going with them. After all, I've been going for the last 8 years or so. It's funny how things change right before your eyes. Your life can change in a split second. I'm the one that broke it off with him over 10 months ago. So I guess I'm the one who put an end to all the family fun days. Today is going to be one of the good days, and the first step is to speak it into existence. I encourage myself while standing in front of the bathroom mirror. I turned on my stereo to bring up the mood. That was the best idea I had all morning because they were showing off early this morning. How am I supposed to get dressed when they keep playing all the old songs on WHUR? Every time I get ready to jump in the shower, they play another jam. First they played The Sassy Keep On Walking by CeCe Peniston, then Jade's Don't Walk Away. Come on, what is a lady supposed to do? If the real DC morning show keeps flashing back to 1992, I'm never going to be able to leave the house because I can't possibly do the old video choreography in my car, or can I? What? I used to stand in front of the television and mimic all the dance steps when I lived. BC, before children. I worked the butterfly like I was born and raised in Kingston, Jamaica. I danced well into the commercial breaks. I even had my bottled water and towel on standby. I used to get busy. You couldn't tell me nothing. I wasn't in a girl group. I was in a girl group, and that girl group was Jade. You couldn't tell me I wasn't the fourth member, but they just didn't know it. I even had the same denim outfits as they did, but I just couldn't sing a lick, and I still can't. I could dance, though, and still can. What can I say? You are blessed with what you're blessed with, right? Besides, if I could sing, no one would be able to shut me up. I would be singing just because I could, in the grocery store or at the mall. It wouldn't even matter. You know what I mean? This is what you call summer music, at least for my generation anyway. I was in my early 20s back then, when music was music. Music had a way of taking you back to the exact time and place, which is oh so familiar. It can also take you back to a person you tried to forget. But we're not even going to talk about that. It's July, it's sunny, and it's payday Friday. It can't get no better than this. For the first time in months, I feel good about the day ahead of me. I stood in my closet for at least 10 minutes trying to decide what look I was going for today. After heavy contemplation, I decided to wear my light blue Ann Taylor seersucker suit today, along with my favorite pair of baby blue sandals I got from Aldo 2 summers ago. I just got my hair done on Wednesday, and God bless my stylist because my hair is still fresh, streaked, layered, flipped to perfection. I applied a little MAC lip gloss on my way, or my beautiful ancestral pre-lined lips, then accented my eyes with soft black liner. I threw a new tube of mascara in my baby blue Coach bag and headed out the door to beat the gridlock traffic on the Baltimore-Washington Expressway. I love my job. Did I say I love my job? Life is good at the BIM. I can't explain, not one bit. I've been a beauty scout and a head writer for Beautiful Images magazine for over 4 years now. This magazine is new, fresh, and innovative. It took off the minute it hit the stands. There was a void at BIM filled. For so long, we would pick up magazines that didn't feature us. Now there are at least a handful of African American magazines with BIM included. The best part of my job is being out in the street searching for the next new face and talent. I go out and look for untapped talent and beauty that other publications seem to ignore. Our beauty is all over the place, especially where I come from. I'm from Silver Spring, Maryland, which is basically down the street from Chocolate City, DC, baby. There's beautiful black people in Maryland, DC area for sure. I'm 100% hetero, and these ladies have my heads turning from time to time. And the brothers, whew, Boris Kojo ain't got nothing on the everyday brother walking around downtown. Hello? I'm sure my Maryland homegirls would definitely agree. When I walk the streets, I look for good-looking men and women of color who can grace the classy pages of our magazine. We try to represent our culture in every episode, every issue. As we all know, external beauty means nothing. It's the internal beauty that is remembered. But fine is fine, okay? There is no doubt about that. I won't act like we do not see external beauty. I would be lying through my teeth if I said that. Our beauty is not narrowed down just to light complexion women or women with no curves. That is not always in, and we don't always feature that. We come in all shades, sizes, and shapes, just like most of America. Magazines are already saturated with stereotypical women, which is the minority. I should know, because the average beauty is like me, average height, brown, silicone free. Well, I like to think so anyway. Finally, I arrive at work and turn down the radio as I pull into the private parking lot. Selena Johnson was singing the hell out of that song, and I was her backup, sure enough. It's a shame she doesn't get much play because she sings her face off. She reminds me of my girl Betty Wright. She has that back in the day, I'ma tell you about yourself type of voice. Hey girl, how you doing? I spoke to one of my co-workers while getting out of my cars as I walked into BIM to check in. My cell phone buzzed on my way, on my ample hip. Omar was calling to let me know that he and Kai got to Jersey safe and sound. Kai got on the phone. Mommy, he screamed. Hey, baby. Are you excited? I asked as Kai kept talking about the raves at the beach. I laughed to myself because I knew he meant waves. I just let him go on and on. Kai, have a good time with your daddy and all your big cousins. I'll see you on Monday night, okay? Mommy loves you. I love you to pieces, Kai. I love you to pieces too, Mommy. Bye-bye, baby. He says to me, laughing. I love this little man so much, looking just like his daddy. Doesn't that just kill you? You do all the pushing. They come out looking nothing like you. What can I say? Omar was and still is fine as hell. Tell the truth and shame the devil. I ain't even gonna lie. It seems like they look even finer once you leave them. When I went to put my purse in the desk drawer, my cell phone goes off again. I knew it was Kendra because of her special ringtone, Carl Carlton's Bad Mama Jamma. Hey, Kenny. Hey, Miss Girl, she said. I was just checking in on you to see how you were doing this morning. without your little man, Kendra said with concern. I'm good, girl. I just spoke to him right before you called. What's up with you? I asked my friend. Nothing, just getting my day started. You know me, girl. Once I have my coffee, I'll be straight, Kendra stated with a slight chuckle. Don't I know that? Well, girl, I'll check back with you later. If I don't talk to you soon, I'll see you later on this evening, Kenny. All right, Miss Girl. Don't get in any trouble now that you're childless, Kenny teased. Who, me? I said, pretending to be innocent. Yeah, whatever, girl. You heard what I said, Kenny repeated. Bye, Kendra said while laughing. Bye, I said with force. That's my girl. My girlfriends are truly like my sisters. I love them girls to death. I do not have any sisters by blood, so that makes them much more special to me. I do have 3 big-headed brothers, though, who are crazy and fine, if I don't say so myself. If I do say so myself. Sloan, I heard a masculine voice call my name. Damn. I must have been daydreaming. That's what I do now. That's what I do now that they moved me into the office with this big window with this breathtaking view. What did I expect? Oh, hey, Eric. How long have you been standing there? I said, snapping out of my daydream by the scent of his cologne. Long enough to watch you without you blushing, he said through a smile. Whatever, man. What's up? I said, immediately ignoring his flirting. That's my boy. I don't pay him any mind. I just wanted to let you know we are having a Star Point meeting in about 10 minutes in the boardroom across the hall, Eric reminded me. Thanks, Eric. I'll be right there, I replied. All right, Miss Daniels, he said with a grin. Eric has been working with me almost the whole time I've been here. BMI actually has been here for about 6 months or less. Actually, he's been here, about 6 months or less. He's a really cool brother with a clever sense of humor. He's really intelligent, too. I catch all the ladies checking him out when we are out working. You know who Eric reminds you of and who he kind of looks like now that I think about it? He kind of looks like the actor Richard T. Jones. You know, the one in that movie G with Blair Underwood. He was also in the movie The Wood with Taye Diggs. He's one of those actors that pop up all over TV and movies, but you never really knew his name, per se. Anyway, that's who Eric kind of reminds me of, except just a tad shade lighter. Eric is more of a dark mocha brown skin complexion. He has one of those dimples in his left cheek, you know, that you just can't help but notice. We are both talent and beauty scouts, so we spend a lot of time together out in the field. That's my right-hand man, my dog. We are pretty tight at work, and that's about it. I don't mix business with pleasure, so I like to work at work. By all means necessary. Don't start nothing, won't be nothing. At least that's what I always say. When I walked into boardroom B, there was no one in there except my boss, Myra, and her executive assistant, Shanae. Shanae was fresh out of college, and this was her first real job. She had jagged edges, but was as sweet as cobbler. She stood about 5 feet tall, and her hair was half her body. She was cute. And she wanted to, as cute as she wanted to be, looking like Chili from TLC or something like that. I sat next to them both and waited for the other 4th member of the team to get there, Myra Francisco. She's a sharp, tall, honey brown skin complected woman in her late 40s. She has a blonde, curly, short, natural do that matches her complexion to a T. She works the hell out of it, and she knows it and makes it very clear that she knows it. Miss Myra is too fierce every single day. You better believe that. Her personality matches her outer beauty as well. That's why she's so fabulous. She is the world's best boss lady, and I'll tell anyone that. You wouldn't even know she owned her own magazine because she is so hands-on and humble. She lets her employees give input and opinions. I never experienced that until I came to work at BIM founder and work for BIM's founder and CEO, Myra A. Francisco. Every Friday, we have a roundtable to discuss Starpoint. Starpoint is a monthly feature of our magazine that we started a year ago. It was my brainchild, I like to say. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but toot. We feature African American celebrities and their beauty secrets inside and out. We at BIM try to feature what other magazines don't. We ask the questions that mean something. We try not to be too trivial, you know. It's a lot of reading, y'all. I'm still on chapter 1. I'm glad you all could make it, Myra said with her trademark smirky smile. We all just looked at her and smiled back. You couldn't help but not to. As you all know, this is a unisex magazine, so it's only fair we alternate between male and female stars on the monthly basis. Last month we featured Michael Ealy, so this month it's females' time to shine. I'm going to open the floor. I want to hear from all of you, asserted Myra. Well, you know who spoke up first, Mr. Eric Edwards. Everyone just laughed because we all knew he would be the first to speak up, as always. Eric said, I don't even know where to start. Eric got ready to speak and then he paused for a second. How about Halle Berry? Eric finally suggested. Come on, man, Dallas said. Everyone and their mamas use Halle Berry on everything. She's all over the place. White magazines use her as well as black ones. There are a lot more beauties out there. Eric shook his head like he felt what Dallas was saying. That's true, piped in Shanae, shaking her head vigorously. She is a little overexposed, to put it mildly, especially since she won that Oscar, I said. She's a beautiful lady, don't get me wrong, but there are so many more beautiful women that nobody knows about, that are not featured on anywhere, including print work. How about Vivica A. Fox? Voiced Pamela. Okay, we'll write Miss Vivica A. Fox on the board. Who doesn't like Vivica A. Fox? Asked Myra. Myra was standing in front of the huge dry erase board in an elegant boardroom with a bright green marker in her right hand. Now who else? Myra waited for the response. She paused, then continued. Since I just saw the movie Baby Boy on DVD, how about Taraji P. Henson? Remember, y'all, this was 2005. She's a good choice. Besides, she's from this area, chimed Eric. That's true, I said. I forgot about that. Which one was she in Baby Boy? Asked Monica in her quiet little mouse voice. She was Tyrese's woman, Dallas answered. Oh, okay. That one. She never said much, but she did her job. Monica replied. Monica blended in with everyone. She never said much, but she did her job well. She was definitely the only quiet one out the bunch. Are there any other suggestions? Myra said. Everyone was deep in thought, looking around the room at the light lavender walls with the off-white strips. After about 5 solid minutes of silence and thought, Myra spoke again. How about Shantae Moore? Myra suggested with enthusiasm. That's my favorite singer, hands down. She has my vote. I'm surprised I didn't suggest her, I said in disbelief. Eric said, she has my vote. The woman sings like an angel and she's fine. Also, her husband is a DC boy. She isn't seen. Well, Kenny Lattimore ain't her husband now, but in that time, he was. All right. She has my vote. The woman sings like an angel and she's fine. Also, her husband is a DC boy. She isn't seen that much either, especially in a big way like we're going to do. Shantae Moore has been on the scene for over a decade. I think it's about time for her to get her spotlight. I'm sure our readers would love to know more about her. That's very true, Eric, replied Myra as she jotted her name down on the board. She's beautiful. She seems to have a beautiful spirit, and that's what we look for in this feature. Isn't that right, Sloan? That's right, Myra, I said with a smile. I'm glad she acknowledged my vision. Shanae said, also, I want to know How she looks so good after having not one, but 2 babies. She looks like she hasn't even had a child at all. Make sure you ask her that, Sloan. Everyone agreed with that evident fact. The woman looks good. That's undeniable. All in favor of Shantae Moore, raise your hands in unison. I addressed everyone at the table and everyone agreed unanimously. Our meetings are normally ran smooth like this, which is a blessing we all tend to agree with for the most part. We all have a common goal, and that's to have a successful magazine. We all treat it like our own, and trust me, Myra sees that. Let's see how far. Almost coming to the end. I don't know if I'll get through all chapter 1. It's almost done. I'll keep going. Let me see. Starpoint is my baby, and I also am fortunate enough to write the column. We tend to work on the articles 2 months in advance with celebrities. You never know what their schedules are like and where they're going to be next. Shantae Moore will grace our magazine pages in September as long as we have her blessing and consent. I'm real excited to meet her. I wasn't lying when I said she's one of my favorite artists. This is going to be a real treat for me at BIM. Now that was decided to, now that we decided to go with my girl, I needed to get in touch with her people. Let me turn this light on so I can see. All right. I may have a good chance on getting an interview and story real soon. She is coming to D.C. along with her husband, Kenny Lattimore. They are here for only one night, and I got on my phone immediately to make things happen. The telephone will most likely be my best friend for the rest of my work day. After 4 hours of speaking to people who knew people who knew people, I was able to speak to the right people. My play brother, a.k.a. Kendra's husband, played a big part in making things happen. It's good to have connections. After anticipating a call back for about another hour and a half, the interview was set and confirmed. Yes, I'm pumped now. Let's the process begin. I went over to our very dark photography lab to ask one of our staff photographers who would be working with me on the feature story. I looked at the schedule and it looked like it would be Khalil, who was available for the photo shoot. Khalil McKenzie was a nice young brother who graduated from Morgan State University in Baltimore. Check this out. He graduated with a degree in business. He said photography is his passion and always has been. You can tell because he is one of the best photographers I've ever seen, if I say so. The boy is hella good. Mr. Khalil's photographs are flawless, just like his chestnut skin. He truly has a gift from God. I'm glad he works for BIM. He makes my job a lot easier. I penciled my name and project under the box and scheduled a photo shoot with Mrs. Moore Lattimore for next Wednesday. As I leave the office to begin my child-free weekend with my girls, Shanae yells, "Have a good weekend, Sloan." "I know I will," she yelled across the parking lot. "I know I will too," I said, laughing. She is doing the long-distance relationship thing. And her boo is coming this weekend. She gets way happy on Fridays. I ain't even mad at her, though. Don't get into much trouble, I said. Looking at the time. Okay. "I hope to see you bright and early Monday morning," I yelled back. "Oh, I'll be there, but don't expect me to be happy about it," she said. Mondays are the worst for her because her man is gone and she's back to her normal life. That's why I couldn't do that long distance thing. It's either all or nothing for me. To each his own, though. Call it what you want. I got a little bit to go. I think I'm going to stop right there. That's page 24. All right. So that's the first bit of it, and I will continue maybe next week and finish it up. I think chapter 1 was the actual, if I remember, now that I'm reading it, the longest chapter there was because it was setting the tone for the main person. But there's a lot going on in the book. The layers start being pulled back. It's about friendship. It's about love. It's about relationships. It's about intimacy. It's about the things that we want that we can't have. And we look at someone else's life and say, I want that, I want that, I want that. But they're looking at your life saying, I would trade my life for yours any day because I can't have a baby, because I'm sick, because I'm getting a divorce, or whatever it is. So you got to stay tuned. I think I'm going to come back. I'm not sure when, and continue to read it. Have you ever just read and read and read and read and read and read, and the words start crisscrossing after a while? Reading out loud is different from reading to yourself, like you do in school. Read to yourself or read out loud. But I did it! Yay! And if this is your first time tuning in, you're like, what the what? This is what the podcast is about? No, this is just a special quarantine edition just to give you a little something different. This is the 122nd show. I thought last week's was, but of course that was 121. After I got done, I looked. So there are over 100 shows with amazing guests, amazing topics listed right there for you. So the good thing about podcasts is you can go back and listen from anywhere at any time. And now, if you're like most people, you ain't got nothing but time. And you can put your little headphones in, or you can put your speaker on and just listen to some of the podcasts. I mean, I have everything for everybody. And I'm not just saying that because it's my podcast. I've done so many different shows on so many different topics. On Shine with Kendéll Lenice, we laugh, we cry, we act silly, you learn, you listen, you hear something different than you might have heard before, like in a different way, said in a different way. It's all about education, elevation, and entertainment. That's what we do. I'm all tongue-tied after reading. That was a lot. But I'll read it again. And it is juicy. Even if you can't tell right now, it's a juicy, juicy, juicy book. Once we get all the way in. It's, let me see how many pages I had on here. I think I had almost 300 pages. Let me see. Whew. Yep, including the epilogue, it is 269 pages, y'all. So I got a lot going on with that, but it's a good story. I'm proud of myself. That was the first time I ever wrote a book per se. I've done writing for magazines and different entries and all of that good stuff, but I never wrote an entire book. So I was very proud and pleased. I was in my 30s when I wrote that book, and I was a woman of a certain age. I think it was like 35 or something like that. I don't feel like doing the math right now. Because I have been working all day. Even in this quarantine, I did a meditation class. I did another workshop, a book writing workshop. I went for a walk. I exercised, because you got to do that, because I don't want to be post-quarantine big girl. And shout out to the big girls. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But I'm a woman of a certain age, and I want to not look like that age, okay? But I thank you guys so much for tuning in and hanging in there with me today as I read and stumbled and read and couldn't see, and the light was off. But guess what? I still did it just like I wrote that book. So hopefully, if you want to write a book, you are able to write your book just by deciding and making the choice and decision that you want to be an author. So the minute you decide that you want to be an author, you are an author. Just start writing, because you need a title. That's the first thing you need. And you need the will to say, you know what, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to be disciplined, and I'm going to not only write my book, but I'm going to publish my book. So I thank you for tuning in. And if this is your first time again, please subscribe and tell a friend about Shine with Kendéll Lenice on this show. Again, we did a little bit differently, and that's all right, because sometimes you got to switch it up a bit. So thanks for tuning in. God bless.
Shine with Kendéll Lenice. Real talk for real people. Let's shine together. Shine with Kendéll Lenice. Real talk for real people. Let's shine together.